Ladies and gentlemen, this is a difficult video for me to record. Today I am going to do a challenge that is truly impossible. I'm a chess player. Probably so are you. Most of the time, when we play chess, we try to win. That is not what I am trying to do in today's video. I am trying to lose. I am trying to lose to the new dumbest chess bot on the planet, Zach. Zach cannot win a game of chess. He is programmed literally not to do that. I just spent 2 hours trying to lose. I failed. I'm just recording this video. I failed, okay? I'm going to show you how I failed. And then I'm going to show you the only way that you can succeed and send you all off. After this video, you can do the impossible Zach challenge and try to do better than me. That's all I have for you. That's it. That's it. I have been driven absolutely mad by this bot. I'm going to put a link in the description. You go try to beat it on your own. Folks, the only way to beat this bot is to have him checkmate you by force. You have to force him to checkmate you. Now, game number one, this was the strategy that I took. I played stupid, all right? Bishop to h6. The way I need to get to him is I need to take his pieces, okay? That is what we're going to do. We're going to take his pieces, and then we're going to obviously hunt the king down, okay? So I went queen to d2. I just took a pawn. I played queen a7. That was actually a mouse slip. I was trying to take the rook, but he didn't even take me. Then I took this pawn, and then I took another pawn, and then I took this, and then I took this. I am just taking everything. This bot does not know how to play chess. He is programmed on a chess website, and he should be playing literally anything else. They should program him to play Battleship. This man does not know how to play chess, okay? Bishop to b4 check, c3 knight e7. Now, he took my queen. I actually couldn't believe it. He actually took my queen. So as I'm trying to figure out and strategize how you're supposed to beat this absolute freaking goblin, I took this bishop, and then I started pushing my pawns. And in this first game, this is what I did. I simply walked to the other side of the board. Now, it's actually a fascinating mental exercise. You need him to keep at least a major piece on the board, and probably a queen. I don't know how you're going to be able to do this with him not having a queen. You need to force him to make a move, so it's probably going to have to be a check, that takes your attacking piece, and then it's checkmate. So we need to get our pieces closer together. That's the only way, right? That is really the only way. So I start bringing my king forward. This guy plays rook to g3 check. I run my king forward. This guy plays f5. Now I'm forced to take. Folks, you know what I learned about this bot? He is programmed not to win. He's programmed not to win. You know what he did in a little while? Look at this. It's mate in 2. Queen takes, queen d2. It's mate. He doesn't do that. So I start taking some pieces. I'm going to promote again. It's queen d2 mate. I have given him mate in 1. He's not doing it. He plays rook a4, which hangs the rook to 3 different pieces. Now I made a little progress here. I was looking for a ladder mate. And then I couldn't believe this move. This is where I learned he has an insane thing up his sleeve. Remember, I need to keep one piece on the board. I need to get my king somewhere in this area, and then I need to make a move where he takes my queen, and it's mate. He went here! If Zach can force you to take his queen, he will. So now I'm learning. This is like playing against a final boss in a video game. I am learning that this scumbag, if he gets you to a spot, he can lose his queen by force. It's over, and he's going to lose all his pieces. So now I'm relying on one of these pawns. I'm thinking, okay, well, one of these pawns is going to have to promote, right? Like, I'm going to have to... Right here, I was like, oh, I have a genius idea. I'm going to take his pieces, and he's going to have to take me and make a queen. No, he's not. He doesn't even have to make a queen. And if he makes a bishop, it's going to be impossible to get checkmated. So ultimately, I did my best. He actually promoted to a queen, which I thought, oh, this is fantastic. I'm going to make some progress here. What did I say? If he can make you lose to take his queen, he will. And by the end of this, he just gave me a million checks. He kept trying to lose his own queen. Now, this position, I'm never going to win. I'm just never going to win. This is an unwinnable position for me. And I resigned. Because, yes, in case you're confused, White has been winning the entire game. White was winning before the game started, okay? But by the end of it, there is no way for me to get checkmated by him from this position. It's not possible. I need to block off all of my king escape squares Somehow I need to get my king to the edge of the board, which could be possible. And then I need to like check him and walk me there. I don't know. And I was just like, all right, let's try again. So you know what I tried in the next game? I tried a really sick strategy. And this led to the stupidest chess game you've ever seen. This game is so stupid. Oh my God, I cannot believe what I'm showing you. None of this matters. What I did in this game, bro, he went queen e4 and then he took my knight. Like, this is anti-chess. This is really anti-chess. In this game, this is what I did. I ran my king. I tried to run my king to the other side of the board. My king made it to C7. And what I wanted to do is go with my queen, try to attack the king, and have him take me so I don't have a getaway. The problem is I have too many getaway squares. This is actually the issue, is that if I were to bring pieces and seal off my own king's escape squares, there is no guarantee that he has to take me. And here's the worst part about Zach. I think Zach knows you're trying to win. Every time I would get close, he would do some utterly ridiculous stuff. Look at this. I went in with my queen. He's just making completely random moves. Folks, when I tell you this is what chess looks like when you dream about it. What is this? This is modern art. What on earth is going on? And I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried my best. And look how close I got. I even thought of a concept. In this position, I was like, hey, what if I somehow put my queen like there and he took me and I put my rook there, like, just, okay, something completely and utterly stupid. Look, like I block myself and then I go like this, and this is how I lose. Queen G8 takes. You see, this is how you have to win. But he never gives you the chance. Every time I thought I was making some progress, I wasn't taking his queen. He was trying to take me. I wasn't taking him. What is this position? By playing him, you will literally create positions that have never happened before. Folks, I didn't win. It didn't work. I promoted like 47 different queens. I tried my best, and ultimately, he actually started to take my pieces. I had 2 queens. I tried. I kept trying. He doesn't take any of your pieces until he does. And this is over. I'm probably not going to win this game. And then he, again, by force, tried to take all, and ultimately, this one ended. And so, folks, I played him so many times. I played this absolute moron so many times, and I failed, okay? And this video is is a failure, but this was not a failure. This is a person who defeated Zach. And this was the first ever game that Zach won. And this game is an even faster game, because not only are we trying to lose to Zach, we are trying to lose to him in the fastest way possible. I'm going to show you 2 games of people that managed to lose to the Impossible Chess Bot Challenge. Now, Sean gets the Grandmaster title for this. It was a French defense, took some space, and then played King E2. And you can tell early on what is happening. The king is being brought forward. That's what we are trying to accomplish. Meanwhile, Zach is just doing his usual stuff, drooling all over himself. Knight C3, knight B4, bishop D3, bishop D2. White is trying to lose the game by force, because black is not going to win the game. Knight F6, he takes on D5, the knight goes back. I don't even understand that move. And you can kind of see already, you're trying to take away the king's squares. Knight to G4, and some sort of checkmate is being set up. Meanwhile, look at this. You're just shuffling pieces around. Now, what I don't get is, Zach kept taking my pieces. Without the queen, I don't think it's even possible. Rook A8, fine. Now, F5. We're just pushing forward. None of the moves are making sense. We are walking the king to his doom. All right, pawn takes E6. We are clearing the path for the king, passanting. Bishop back to F3, king to E7. We don't take the king is just in the middle of the board. Queen F5 is nearly mate, but it's not. We go knight E1. We are just walling in look at this, knight E3. This is actually completely genius. This is truly something to behold. Complete isolation for the white king, walled in amongst the pieces. Pawn takes D5, but Zach's never going to play pawn takes D5. How do you get somebody to win when they don't want to win? How do you get a dog to do something, right? You got to dangle some food in front of their face. Zach's not that simple. Zach's not that simple. Knight takes E6. Now, at some point, Sean is like, I think I'm going to have to start taking some pieces, but nope, he's just making moves. Just making moves. Knight e5, he takes, knight back. Maybe he's going to walk the king even, look at this. Maybe he's going to walk the king even closer. At some point, Zach needs to run out of material that he can use. Rook to a1, rook to d1, knight c1, he's not taking anything. This is basically mate now, and yet it's all covered. King c8, g4, knight e6. What are we looking at? We are creating artistic masterpieces on the board. Honestly, chess is so fascinating because, yes, we play to win, but sometimes we have a challenge in front of us on the chessboard that's like a side quest that is so unbelievably difficult. This is like solving a 40-sided Rubik's Cube. I don't know what the biggest Rubik's Cube per side ever solved is, and I don't want to know, okay? It's just going to make me feel bad about myself. Most bots would go knight c5 in this position. Zach does not. Zach goes pawn to b5. Sean plays pawn to h4, still creating this massive armada in front of his king. It's mate on literally every move. Every single move is mate. Knight c5 is mate. Sean's going forward. g5, he's going to lose a couple of the pieces. But you can only forcefully get checkmated by this bot if you actually attack it first. You have to force mate. It's not going to mate you. He promotes to a queen. The queen doesn't get taken. Queen f8. Okay. Queen takes. You lost the queen. Queen h2. Knight to b3. Knight c5 is mate again. This is mate. And this is mate. Neither of the mates are played. Queen h6. Bishop a6. Knight f5. And you are just making moves. Zach, okay, you've lost your queen, and he takes. He takes your queen. Okay, this is very interesting. Knight c6. Now, at some point, are you going to get your queen back? Knight to b4. He's taking the remainder of your pieces. It's kind of looking hopeless. I got to tell you, it's looking hopeless. I don't know how you are going to checkmate the opponent, but make a mistake and then get your piece taken and then mate you. It's not going to happen anymore, right? It's time to give up. Rook c4. All right, it's time to give up at some point. One of your rooks is going to get taken. Knight c6, okay. Knight back to d4, pawn to b3. We're just shuffling. Knight takes pawn, rook takes. By the way, we could have taken here, but instead of that, we go rook here, all right? Bishop to f5, rook b3 check, rook c3 check. We're just moving around. We can't make any progress. King on the outskirts of the board, though, is a good sign. When the king is so far on the outside, you have a lot less mobility, and then you are much more guaranteed some sort of a check that would then forcefully be blocked, and then, you know, maybe you can trick him into checkmating you. So you get here, white is still completely winning. Knight c6 is a double check and a mate at the same time. b6 is the move, though, and you go here, and I'm like, there is no way Sean is going to pull this off, but he does. Because in this position, Sean plays rook b4, rook c7 check, obviously, and then he plays king c3, knight c5, and the way that he does this is completely genius. So again, normally I am highlighting brilliancy on the chessboard. This is the most sophisticated, stupid thing I've ever seen. How can you guarantee that black checkmates you in this position? Really, this is mind-bending stuff. If you're still here, this is truly, it's crazy. So knight back to d7, he creates a barrier around his king again, right? Creates a little wall by his king, promotes to a queen, which doesn't get taken. Then he plays rook b7, which I don't understand these moves. The queen goes here, he doesn't take. Rook 8, okay, rook h3. I mean, how do you win? Queen here, the knight takes the bishop. Okay, you're down to 4 pieces. Rook takes b3, and you will not believe what goes down in this position. So bishop back to a6, queen d5, queen a5. All right, the queen doesn't even get taken by the knight. And you will not believe this. If in this position the queen had been taken, he wouldn't have gotten this done. You need to get lucky. Zach went here. Sean went king a4, threatening to win the game. You know how he's threatening to win the game? Because he's threatening queen takes bishop checkmate, queen takes bishop checkmate. Zach didn't see that coming. Zach went here. And after they repeated, he could have played some move, but he went here. Had he even returned with knight to c6, this wouldn't have worked, because after it takes, there would have been knight a7. He wouldn't have played queen takes queen. But by accident, the bot allowed itself to checkmate the opponent. It doesn't know it's not trying to win, but after queen takes a6, it's mate. You have to take the queen, and white loses. This was 102 moves. And then I saw a game last night on the GothamChess subreddit played by a Spanish dude, and he won in 72 moves, which means I think the standing world record for defeating Zach in a game of chess is 72 moves in a one-off game. There are ways I think people like hack these bots. They like play them, and then you can not refresh. I don't know if the openings repeat. I've been seeing all sorts of people posting that they've lost. There is no proof. I don't see any proof. I want this entire community to come together to solve this without cheating. This was a person that defeated Zach in 70 turns. So this person, again, you need to take a little bit of his pieces, but he's actually taking back some of the pieces, which is the problem. This was the problem that I experienced. Every time I wanted to balance how many pieces I kept on the board versus how many pieces he had on the board, I was like, if he can lose his queen to me, he will. That's what he does. If he can lose his queen to you, guaranteed he will lose it. So bishop b5 check was played, pawn to d6. Okay, he lost his queen, which the person didn't even capture, because I think you need to keep their queen on the board to win. This is what I've realized. The black queen, or his queen, has to be on the board to win, because the queen defends so many squares that ultimately at some point you will lose a piece to the queen, and then the queen's gonna mate you. Otherwise, I don't know. You can maybe get checkmated to a knight, but he loses his knight so quickly that it's utterly impossible. Anyway, in this game, Spanish dude, early on already has a completely winning position. All right, it's not even close. He's completely winning. It's over. Zach takes his queen, which is, that's what I experienced. He would take my queen. It was very annoying. And now you have this position. And so what I tried to do, remember my game? The game that I played where I kind of tried to run my king and have our kings I ran the king to his king. I ran the king as close as possible because I wanted to sacrifice my piece and get mated. So the amazing thing that this player does in this game is that it's just in the middle of the game, they pick up the king and the king runs. And I think you need some protection for the king. You need some pawns around, you need some pieces around. I couldn't pull this off. I tried for hours. Can you imagine how pathetic my life has to be to sit here for 2 hours begging the bot to beat me? I mean, it's just queen takes. Look, he's going to try to lose his queen to you constantly, right? And so queen c5. Against me, he would play moves like queen takes g2. Here, he only played queen e4, rook d1, and he's not losing the queen for some reason. So rook d5, king f7, king e1, and against me, I swear to you, if he can lose the queen by force, he would have done it. I don't know how Spanish dude got so lucky that this didn't happen, but I'm telling you, you need a little bit of luck. You need a little luck in chess. There's the king run. The only way to lose this by force is to bring the king so close, somehow you will lose your queen and you will lose. But the king needs to be on the outskirts. So queen e8 check, king f4, h5, and now this is your entry right here. You might get your king to a very bad square. There could be some checks. Queen e4, rook f5. I mean, normally you would expect to be taken here. Pawn takes, and the king goes to h6. And this might be the moment. This actually might be the moment. But still, how do you envision losing a queen somewhere here and it being checkmate? You would need to lose your queen on that square. And even if you did, even if you played this, he's not going to take the queen. He's not going to take it. He's going to go here. He's programmed to be a moron. So how is white going to pull this off? Couldn't believe it. Could not believe what I witnessed to pull this off. Absolutely genius stuff. King h7, not taking the pawn. And at some point, Spanish dude decided he's just going to push the pawns. So Zach, meanwhile, is hungry hippoing these pawns. Queen f6, obviously no trade. Obviously, he doesn't take the queen. He doesn't take the queen because it's not the only move. Queen e4 check, king f7. He's trying to lose the queen again. The queen doesn't get taken. He plays queen a1 instead, queen h5. And I'm like, how are you going to do this? The king is in the middle. Here's how you're going to do it. Here's how you're going to do it. Rook c3, rook g3. King has to kind of stand around. And you slowly walk the king over here. And it looks like you're making some progress. Rook g6, king f7. Look, this is mate. No mate. Now, if white had a queen there, they would win. because black would not have any other legal move, but you're far from that. So queen e2, you push. You kind of see the early makings, but now you have to block. He doesn't take your queen. Miracle. Rook queen g4. He doesn't take your queen again. Like, if he takes your queen here, the whole thing's done. Rook queen d4. Queen d2. Queen c3. He's just not taking the queen. I mean, I didn't have this level of luck. Queen a1. c7. And they promoted to a rook. Not a queen. Not a queen. They promoted to a rook. Maybe if they promoted to a queen, he would have taken the queen. I don't know. Maybe it's programmed to have a blind spot. Queen c6. And folks, queen e5. And the money move is queen g7. If white can move this rook somewhere, it's stalemate to the king. And queen g7 is the move. It's going to guarantee this game ends rook e1, queen a2, queen c3. How are you going to pull this off? Queen b2, you're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting. And the king cannot go anywhere. 72 moves, as of right now, is the record that I've seen posted. Try to do it faster. Write a username in the comments section and, you know, you can post it on the GothamChess subreddit or something. Yeah, this is crazy. Or the chess subreddit, but they're a little uptight. They might delete it. Or Anarchy Chess. I can't believe it. This challenge destroyed me. It completely ruined everything. Everything. My day is ruined. And I gotta go watch the World Cup. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go watch the World Cup after this video is being posted, after who plays today? Spain, Belgium, I think. Yeah, we'll see. That's all I have for you today. Get out of here.